Greetings, I'm Reverend John O'Toole, and here we are again for another the FaerySpeak, where the cards speak for you, and in turn the fairies speak to you through the cards. It's kind of a cool idea when you think about it. Only if you believe, and only if it resonates with you. Otherwise, it's just a chance to watch me make a fool out of myself. Now, isn't that a great thing? That's what TV's all about. We watch people make fools of themselves. Whether it's a State of the Union address or it's a big guy in a red shirt. Talking about fairies. So the last episode, we got you to identify your fairy. If you missed that episode, you could go back to the last one, which was episode 23, I believe. But, just in case you missed it, who is your fairy? Think about it. Empty your mind to a total blank, and then picture a invisible friend you've had for years, even since you were a child, especially when you were a child. And then imagine him on here. Now, if you try too hard, it won't appear. So, even though they're there, if you try too hard to see them, you may not. You can see them in the sides of your eyes over here. Over here. You'll say, oh, who is that? And you'll go to look, and it disappears like in a puff of energy. And then you go back out here, and it reappears over there, because that's just the way they are. And if you had, there's no fairies around here, I can't see a single one, and he has beehives with plenty of bees, and do you think there isn't a fairy around that beehive? There are a bunch, but he's trying too hard to see them. And maybe his children can see them. So, here we are on a bright and sunny Sunday with still snow around, but not as much as last week. And yeah, let's just see what we can do this time. So, we're going to shuffle up some cards. In the meantime, you might think of some ideas that you wish to think about, and maybe the questions will reappear in the cards. And if I don't drop them all, then by the way, I'm using the Fairy Oracle, which is this book right here. You can get this book on Amazon. And it comes as a kit. You can get it 3 ways. You can get it just the book, just the card set, and the Fairy Oracle that comes with the book and the cards. It might be the only way to get it is just the kit with both of them together. It all depends, but you can check with your bookstore, see if they can get this. Or you go to a metaphysical shop near you. If you're in the Berkshires, there's one in Great Barrington. The Crystal Essence. Other places around you could try. You could try your bookstore. If you have a favorite bookstore you can go to, and they can they can maybe search for it online, or you can go to that place called Amazon that so many people dislike because they are so huge. But the problem is, I don't know, I think in some ways, just because the guy is one of the richest men in the world, isn't the reason to not shop with Amazon. Particularly if you live someplace like I do, in a remote part of Massachusetts that has lesser and lesser stores to shop at every week. We have a Berkshire Mall that's been there for, I don't know how long, 30 years maybe longer. And there, I think the only thing left in there is a Target. I don't know, there's very few stores left. I think they put a playground in there for kids. Very few stores are left, but certainly not stores to get things that I wish, which is like electronics. And you go into a Staples store and they have hardly anything in there for inventory now. You want a hard drive for a computer. Oh, we don't carry those. You'll have to order it online. We can get one for you here tomorrow or the day after. Oh, that's nice. So can I, from Amazon. It'll be lower price. So there you go. Buy local. And have them order it online so that you could buy it from local from them. It's your choice. But you know what's also great about shopping at Amazon? I don't have to wear a mask to do it. And I do if I go into one of these stores. I might have to wear 2 masks. I might even have to wear 3. But I don't have to wear any shopping for Amazon. Go figure. That'll be the next thing. In order to shop online, you gotta wear a mask in front of your computer. Well, you can see I'm in a ripe old age this morning. There's just no saying what's gonna happen. Let's pick out some cards and see what we have. So, do we want to pick from the top? Oh yeah, we could pick from the top, but I'm gonna move the top. So we're gonna go with this one. And then we're gonna pick from the top again and go with this one. And then we're gonna pick from the top of again, but I keep moving the top of the deck. And this one. And then let's see what we're gonna do. And we're going to look for the top of the deck again. 5. Cards. Maybe we'll go with one more. There we go. So, we are going to, let's go with the middle one first. As seen on your side, this is a reverse card. Toyum the Poet. A rather interesting card. Number 29 if you're following at home, but this one was in reverse, like so. So we're going to put the card up here. Number 29, Teum the Post. Clear sight, poetry, erotic energy, laughter, and not getting into mischief. But this one was in reverse. Confused about the truth or speaking up for yourself when you're not. Well, that's a curious thing. That's quite the contraire. Confused about the truth or speaking up when you are not speaking up for yourself. Well, how interesting is that? That's a very interesting card. So we're going to take this one. Well, let's see. The next card is number 49. This one goes here. Oh, this one here, number 49. Interesting looking card. Mickle a Muckle. Goofy looking guy, huh? Any resemblance? What do you think? How was the orientation? I've forgotten the orientation. I think it was vertical. And I'll find out when I'm editing this video to find out if it was vertical or not. Mickle a Muckle, you say? Did you say Mickle a Muckle? Mickle a Muckle, did you say? Everyday blessings. Play and mix blessings. Huh. Well, that's interesting indeed. Doesn't sound like it has anything to do with the first one. Everyday blessings, play, and mixed blessings. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Let's try this one. Number 27. I'm going to take this card back and put it over here. Next, the Alchemist. It's a very pretty card. No resemblance at all. Number 27, which is right next to Mickle. Nels the Alchemist. Inner transformation. Irrevocable change. Well, that's a very strange read indeed. Can we be all over the place? I hope it pulls together soon. Let's see who we haven't picked yet. Let's try this one. Another vertical card. We have Abe the Retriever. Abe the Retriever. Interesting card, isn't he? Looks like an Abe. You know anybody named Abe? You think they look like him? He does now. He won't. be long before you'll start looking at them like that all the time. Office of Unclaimed Property. Hopes and wishes and loyalty. Do you see things are starting to connect together? Office of Unclaimed Property. Hopes and wishes and loyalty. Huh. Well, that's interesting indeed. It's funny how you can pull random cards and have them start streaming together in some sort of meaning. This is where it'd be useful to get your own tarot deck and play with this card yourself. You don't have to pick the Fairy Oracle. You could pick. This is also where it'd be best not to buy online, because you want to go and touch the deck. Maybe they won't let you touch the deck anymore because you're not allowed. Maybe you have to bring in a pair of gloves to wear to touch the deck. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are anymore. But it would be helpful if you could find a metaphysical bookstore near you that you can go in and just kind of get a feel for the energy from each deck, and perhaps the store owner would help you find a deck that fits your wishes. Not your needs, but your wishes, which is an important difference. And find a deck that works for you, and you could play with it every day. My first deck, what was the name of my first deck? It's on my shelf. Well, I can't quite remember what it was. But I started reading cards with a friend, and we were all playing with the same deck. That's something that you can also consider doing, if it's allowed, is for you to get a group of friends together and do group tarot card readings. You would all have your own deck. You could even do this on Zoom. It'd be more fun in person. Instead of playing cards or poker, you could be playing tarot cards, and you can do readings for each other as a group. It should really be kind of fun when you think about it. So I have tried actually creating such a thing on Craigslist, but they keep deleting my posts for it. Particularly when they say they want to create groups. It's for group activities, and they cancel my group activities. I think sitting around doing tarot card reading would be a fun club to have. Office of Unclaimed Property. Do you remember that movie? It was a Halloween movie. Was it the first one? I think it was the first one, where there was a person a fairy, that would collect all the things lost in his home, particularly socks. He had a big mound of socks that were all unmatching. And he was the most unpleasant guy, but he was a sweet, unpleasant guy. That is kind of what Ive the Retriever reminds me of. Halloween 1. Halloween Town 1. Shouldn't be confused with Halloween 1. Totally different atmosphere. It's a Disney movie. It's a very nice Disney movie. You can watch it year-round. I don't care. Certain Christmas movies, certain Halloween, Hocus Pocus, you could wear any time of the year and still enjoy it. Halloween 1 you'll see it, and it's a fairy that lives in a dimension that collects things that are lost or left unattended. I guess the word is left unattended. So property of unclaimed, Office of Unclaimed Property would be things that are left behind, unattended. And that would be what hopes were too. Wishes and loyalty. Often people put hopes up into the universe and will give it to the universe and hope that they will bring them answers or bring them conclusions or miracles or something like that, and put it out into the universe to achieve it. It's actually interesting when you think about it. Wishes and loyalty, kind of the same thing. Loyalty and trust is something that's built brick by brick. You know, if you're building something with Legos, everybody knows Legos, right? Now you don't build Legos from the top up, down, you build it from the bottom up, brick by brick by brick. It all goes together. If someone comes along and steps on it or kicks it or something, it all busts to pieces, but you have to build it back up again, brick by brick by brick, until you have another solid wall. And if you plan in the possibility of someone coming along and kicking it, you might actually put a couple of intricately designs in there to keep it from being kicked over. So we see how that becomes the Office of Unclaimed Property, because people put it as being something that is secure and bountiful, and really it isn't. Well, let's see, what else can we pull? How about this one on the end? A Singer card. A very pretty card. All the Singer cards are very pretty. Very pretty indeed. And so the Singer card, number 12, the Singer of the Chalice. And it's a very pretty card. Singer of the Chalice, number 12. The Singer of the Chalice. Trust, patience, creativity, hopes, and miracles. Trust, patience, creativity, hopes, and miracles. But this card was in reverse, which actually I should turn this card over so that you see it in reverse. Trust is muted. Well, then that explains the card before it. Like I said, brick by brick by brick. Should I get myself some Legos and build a brick by brick by brick wall for you on camera? Would that help in that one? You could build a wall of straw. How sturdy is that? Well, if you drive a bunch of pieces of rebar through it and then cover it over with cement stucco and chicken wire, it becomes a strong wall. But if it's just a bunch of pile of straw, it can get knocked down with some rain and some water and some wind. So there. We have one more card left. That would be this one at the moment. Very pretty card indeed. Number 18. Look at that one. No resemblance. I'm pretty sure, but there is one in here actually that you could say I resemble, but only if we pull it today. Number 18. And this was vertical. This is called the Lady of the Harvest. The Lady of the Harvest. And actually the reverse actually makes more sense of the energy. I'm not sure if it was a reverse card or a vertical card, and I'll find out in the edit. But it feels like, that's what it feels like, that it was a reverse card. And the reverse would be refuse to accept loss, cling to outgrown pains, trauma, and limiting ideas. Doesn't that follow with what we're talking about more than the vertical part, which would be completion, grief, loss, harvest, and release? Well, not necessarily. Actually, both positions have similar connecting meanings. So if we looked at it as being a vertical card, completion, grief, and loss, and harvest, and release. Well, there you go. And I wish I could just pull a couple more cards, but I believe we're out of time. So, is there a conclusion here? I don't know. It's your reading. You're going to have to pull the pieces together and think about it and figure out how this pertains to you. I can't always give you all the answers. You read the cards and you might be able to find an answer in that. But until next time, the fairy speaks to you and you and you and the one over there in the back and you over there and the one in the other room that's listening to the whole conversation as I tell you guys.